Greetings everyone and welcome to the 6:15 edition of news in the English language on Canal International, and we begin with our top stories. Today, February 6, 2026, Cameroon joins the rest of the world to commemorate the International Day of Zero Tolerance to Female Genital Mutilation. This brought advocates, health professionals, and community members together into one to call for stronger action against the practice in Cameroon. And did you know that over-dependence on mobile phone is considered a psychological disorder? Psychosocialists warn that excessive phone use is increasingly hindering socialization, especially among a generation. Tell you more in this edition of Newscast. And as Cameroon celebrates a bilingualism day, today questions are emerging over how effectively the country's official policy is applied in public administration. In Douala, a team of reporters visited several administrative offices. We'll tell you more in this edition of Newscast. Good evening once more. Today, February 6, 2026, Cameroon joins the rest of the world today to commemorate zero tolerance to female genital mutilation, which is its International Day. Today, this brought advocates and health professionals and our community members together in Douala, in Cameroon's economic hub, to call for stronger action against the practice in the country. More on the story with our reporter, Saleh Sharifa.
According to experts, around half of the world's female genital mutilation victims live in African countries, with Cameroon among the nations still grappling with the practice. More than 50% of these victims live in Africa, and Cameroon is one of the countries. During an awareness event held in Douala, advocates stressed the urgent need to intensify education and community outreach to prevent further harm. When we talk of mental health, we also talk of genital mutilation victims because they go through psychological trauma. People who have lived this situation today find themselves in Douala and go through trauma every day. Most of these women tend to lose self-confidence. Participants, including health workers and civil society advocates, highlighted that female genital mutilation remains condemned under Cameroonian law, yet persists behind closed doors. 1% of the female gender as from 0 to 15 years and 1% equally for those who range from 15 to 49 years are women who have gone through genital mutilation in Cameroon.
Pour eux, c'est juste soit du commerce ou bien la tradition, mais ça détruit.
The commemoration of the International Day of Zero Tolerance to Female Genital Mutilation provided an opportunity to amplify the push for stronger enforcement of existing laws.
And did you know that over-dependence on your mobile phone can cause psychological disorder? Psychosocialists warn that excessive phone use is increasingly hindering socialization, especially with the younger generation. Today, as the world marks World Day without mobile phones, this February 6, 2026, many admit that saving away or staying away from mobile phones, even for just a day, is a real challenge. More with our reporter, Latu Cynthia.
A walk through the streets of Douala this Friday afternoon tells a familiar story. People sitting side by side yet absorbed in their mobile phones. Breaking away from this gadget is becoming a daily struggle, users admit. The phone is a tool of evolution. We use it for almost everything. There's no specific time I use my phone. Today the phone is an office for many people. It has helped development Real-life conversations with loved ones are increasingly interrupted by phone notifications, social media scrolling, and constant online engagement. It is creating a physical barrier between children and parents. To better understand the impact, we spoke to psychologist Ntamak Jean, who regrets that mobile phones are gradually becoming a barrier to socialization, separating people who share the same physical space while drawing them closer to distant online contact.
The telephone can ring just one time and you can see someone rushing to come just to take the phone. Meanwhile, he can tell someone to try to call later. You will see at certain moment that we are maybe in a hospital. We have a case there, but all of us are focused in our phone because all of us want to have an image, want to have a buzz.
According to him, overdependence on mobile phone is a psychological disorder that must be addressed.
It's not urgent to use the phone, but it can be urgent to work on social relationship between, for example, parents and their children. Not just put your phone out, but try to see how we can manage the use of telephone. Observed every Friday 6, World Day Without Mobile Phones encourages people to disconnect for 24 hours. The initiative promotes what many call a digital detox.
And as Cameroon celebrates or commemorates Bilingualism Day today, February 6, 2026, questions emerging over how effectively the country's official policies applied in public administration in Cameroon's economic hub. Douala, a team of reporters visited several administrative offices to assess whether the services are truly bilingual or truly master the two official languages in Cameroon. More with our reporter Saleh Sherifa.
Observations this February 4, 2026 from administrative offices in Douala suggest that the implementation of bilingualism remains uneven.
The person speaking English, the other person can answer in French, and like vice versa.
We didn't make a special effort, but we are sure that everybody here knows that bilingualism is important in our country.
At the Littoral Governor's Office, staff members acknowledged the importance of serving the public in both English and French, but admitted that achieving full bilingual communication is not always easy.
Generally, we have the collaborator when they have an English speaker in front of them. If the person is speaking English, the collaborator who is easily speaking English, if it's easy for him or for her to speak in French, they speak in French.
Our office, we have the service of traduction here. So when we receive a letter in English, we have to answer you in English. When we receive in French, we have to answer you in French.
They also pointed to the linguistic reality of Douala, a city largely dominated by French speakers, which they say can make regular use of English more challenging.
The Francophone don't even like to make effort, so they always force us to speak in French, but we are trying.
It trumps plenty because I'm here to talk English, here to talk French. We don't feel here we accept.
Each year, Bilingualism Week aims to promote unity and encourage the population to use both languages in daily life and government services.
And we take you to the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, precisely at the government technical bilingual high school, where activities to mark the Bilingualism Week or wrapped up on a high note. Secondary school teachers, through a debate, brought out the advantages of mastering the two languages. More with our reporter Beatrice Gamu.
Secondary education students displaying knowledge on artificial intelligence. While some appreciate the tool as a great relief, as it eases research and more, others were quick to add it has its limitation. True, it does, they all accept it, but useful to exploit to complete works. A good invention meant to help anyone who wants to learn and use the two official languages of Cameroon and more.
Artificial intelligence, the catalyst for communication and asset for multilingual expression.
Display on the mastery of English and French languages, showcase of knowledge on technology, song and dance, the take-home message by the Minister of Secondary Education.
Instead of spending hours, do research and get all the sources that AI can get, why don't you simply go to AI, get the sources and build those sources into what you want to get.
A great deal as bilingualism and civic education are celebrated together.
We have had talk about bilingualism, civic education, and that's what we want.
This Friday activity draws the curtain on the National Bilingualism Week, Artificial Intelligence at the Service of Bilingualism.
And just a few days to the 60th edition of National Youth Day, a celebration in Cameroon's stakeholders in the capital city, Yaoundé, held their final rehearsals on Friday in Ngwaikele, a goal to harmonize songs, movements, and rhythms for a parade worthy of the events come February 11, 2026. More with our reporter, Hysen Shah.
Voices rising, steps resonating on the Unification Avenue. After nearly a month of rehearsals, pupils, students and instructors are making final adjustments before the big day. 2 rounds made, and at the end of each sequence, officials correct, adjust and redirect, leaving nothing to chance. In primary and secondary schools, as well as vocational training centers and universities, concentration is visible. This year, the parade will feature about 10 modules, all designed to celebrate and showcase the country's 4 cultural zones. Colors, rhythms, choreography, and dance steps are meticulously rehearsed to offer a patriotic and cultural spectacle. The exercise this far, supervisors say, is in a good footing.
We have observed and given some corrections that will be done in the various schools and in the training grounds. So for now, we are satisfied with the rehearsals so far.
Emphasis also laid on the innovations of the 60th edition of the National Youth Day.
6 carousels that will pass and dance to rhythms that will reflect the rhythms of the 6 decades of these 60th anniversary celebrations. And also we have other ministries that have training centers that have integrated March Past Train as an innovation this year.
Next step, the May 20th Boulevard on Monday, February 9 for full-scale rehearsals with a goal to make this edition of the National Youth Day a resounding success in the capital city.
A comparative analysis of 2 countries that started with similar developments or challenges, but followed very different paths. The contents of a book launch of February 6 or 5 in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, that was yesterday, titled The Cameroonian Development State versus South Korean Development State, How to Achieve Structural Growth. The author revisits the concepts of structural transformation, as our reporter Beatrice Ngamo tells us more.
Examining the process of structural transformation, the author places Cameroon's economic model side by side that of South Korea. The analysis highlights persistent challenges such as limited industrial diversification, dependence on commodity export, weak value chain, and others, slowing the pace of transformation.
We are at the same level of development in 1960. They are too developed and we are less developed than them. We compare the itinerary of institutional, of budgetary, of human capital and the industrialization.
Through this comparison, the book does not merely point out gaps but also draw lessons. These suggestions
to help our government, to help our ministry, to help our policymaker to take good decisions and to reorient the strategy of implemented national strategy of development.
The book by this university done is an invitation and contribution to accelerate economic transformation.
So we want to show the book so that the public realize what we can do, and we are ready to do more from our cabinet.
Titled The Cameroonian Developmental State versus the South Korean Developmental State, How to Achieve Structural Growth, The book launch ties in with the cabinet put in place by the University of Yaoundé to February 5 to put the contribution of lecturers to the development of the structure, promote sustainable growth and economic development.
The Cameroonian police are mourning one of them, retired Commissioner Jean-Marie Severin Mbenu, passed away on December 12, 2025 in Yaoundé after a long illness. A final tribute was paid to him on February 5 at the National Advanced School, Police School, in a ceremony backed by military honors. More with our reporter, Hyson Chia.
A heavy atmosphere filled with emotions reigning this February 6th at the explanade of the National Advanced Police School in Yaoundé as the national security family paid their last respect to the retired police commissioner Mbenu Jean-Marie Severin. The symbolic ceremony allowed the Cameroonian police to bid farewell to one of them. The representative of the head of the corps humbly bowed before the remains to pay final tributes. The family, friends and loved ones of the deceased were also present to say goodbye. A heavy moment for both the family and colleagues who describe the departed as a committed agent of the state.
C'est d'abord un homme très brillant. C'est quelqu'un qui travaille très dur. Donc c'est un bourreau du travail.
Before his retirement, Jean-Marie served as an advisor to the United Nations Integrated Office in Burundi and distinguished himself with a brilliant career in law enforcement. He will be laid to rest at his native village of Ngambe, Sanaga Maritime Division of the Littoral Region.
Report brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But don't go away for half news in the French language coming up at 19h50. And have a wonderful weekend in the company of our programs. Good night.